English step by step. Pronunciation and spelling. The vowels O and O. Step 1. This video is one of a series of videos in which I look at the sounds and the spellings of English vowels. Now you can watch my overview video in which I talk about all of the vowels that you can see here. These are all of the sounds and the spellings that you can find in English. In this video we're going to look at two of these vowels. The first one is O and the second one is O. So that's O and O. Now it's important to remember that for many vowel sounds in English there are variations. There is something called RP, received pronunciation, and that means it's the pronunciation that you find in British English dictionaries, British English language course books, and also British English teaching videos. So RP is the pronunciation which is standard for educational materials. Now let's look at these two sounds, for example. O and O. Now these are RP pronunciations. It's important to remember that we have Scottish pronunciation, US pronunciation, Irish pronunciation, Australian pronunciation, New Zealand pronunciation, and these are different from RP. But since this one is used in many English teaching course books, I'll start with RP pronunciation. Here we have, for example, O, as in show, blow, road, coat, stone, phone, don't, won't, so, folk, Joe. And you can see there are different spellings for this sound. OW, for example, show. OA is a very common spelling for this sound. Road, coat, boat, etc. And then we have many words with O and E before and after the consonant, like stone, phone, or vote. And then we have irregular ones like the single O, as in don't and won't. And this word is very irregular. I can't think of any other words with this spelling, but the pronunciation is so. And then we have OL in folk, which is not very common, and OE as in Joe. So, staying with received pronunciation, let's look at the next vowel sound. So received pronunciation for this one is O, as in door, floor, board, board. Now these words in RP are pronounced the same. Board, board. And then we have the past tenses and past participles. Bought, caught, taught. And then we have words with one O, as in lord, cord, and then morning, chalk. So you can hear the sound is O. And we have many different spellings for this sound in English writing. So the common one is double O, as in door, floor. And then we have other ones with OA, as in board. And that's different from the OA, as in road. So, and then we have O and E, as in board. And then we have the OU spelling, as in bought or fought. And then we have the AU spelling, as in caught and taught. And then we have the O followed by an R spelling, lord, cord, morning. And then we have the AL spelling, as in chalk or talk. And then we have this URE spelling in words like sure, pure. And then we have the AW spelling, as in law and jaw. Now, to make this video complete, I have to talk about the variations. Now, I come from Scotland, so when I pronounce these vowels, it's a different sound. It's similar to the US pronunciation and the Irish pronunciation. So instead of show and blow, I say show, blow. And it's the same for all of these sounds. Instead of road and coat, Scottish pronunciation is road and coat. Now, again, there are variations for this sound. Instead of door, I would say door, pronouncing the R. And particularly this sound, instead of boat, I would say bought, caught, taught. And also morning, chalk. And for this sound, I would say sure and pure, and law and jaw. So you have to be aware that there are variations and that the received pronunciation is only one of the variations, but it's the one that you find in many dictionaries and course books. When we look at vowels, it's often useful to look at the pairs of words and listen to the differences. These are often called minimal pairs. So I'm going to stay with received pronunciation for this part so you can hear the difference between the O and O sounds. So, for example, here we have so, saw, boat, bought, bow, bore, coke, cord, low, law. Now for the next part of the video, I would like you to think of it as a listening and spelling exercise. I'm going to use my natural pronunciation, which is with a Scottish accent, so I would like you to listen and write down the words and think about the spelling. I'll explain a little bit later about the received pronunciation of these words and sentences, but first just focus on listening and spelling the words correctly. So find a piece of paper or something to write on and you can make a list, 1 to 15. Now the numbers 1 to 10 are going to be individual words. So listen and write down the individual words and think about the spelling. And then we come to 11 to 15, which will be sentences containing these two vowel sounds, these two phonemes. So again, pay attention to the sounds and the spelling. Number 1, coat, coat. Number 2, close, close. Number 3, toe, toe. Number 4, snow, snow. Number 5, coke, coke. Number 6, caught, caught. That's the past tense of catch. Number 7, clause, clause. Now that's the word that means part of a sentence. That's different from the word that you find in Santa Claus. That's a different spelling, but the pronunciation is the same. Number 7, clause. Number 8, tore, tore. Now that's the past tense of to tear. Number 9, snore, snore. Number 10, cork, cork. Now that's the piece of material that you find in the top of a wine bottle, for example. Cork, cork. So there you have 1 to 10 individual words. So now let's move on to 11 to 15 and listen to sentences. Number 11. I don't drink Coke in the morning. I don't drink Coke in the morning. 12. We saw more snow on the coast. We saw more snow on the coast. 13. She wrote with chalk on the old blackboard. She wrote with chalk on the old blackboard. 14. They thought about going to Rome in October. They thought about going to Rome in October. 15. He closed the door and took off his coat. He closed the door and took off his coat. So that brings us to the end of this Step 1 video on the vowels O and O. So you can watch the next video, the Step 2 video, to listen to the answers to the practice exercise. This is one of a series of videos on the vowels of English. If you like the content, please click like and subscribe, and you can request a lesson in the comments below.